Hi friend, David here from Learn Stage Lighting, and in this video I want to talk about choosing the right lights for a small venue. So far this month we've been talking about small venues a lot, or in this playlist if you're checking it out later, and really how to make great lighting in a small venue. And in this video I want to talk about how to choose the right light fixture for that small venue. The lights that are gonna make your production really great, make things really interesting, without breaking the bank, but also doing everything you need. So, I'm David Henry from LearnStageLighting.com, and friend, if you are new here, hop over to LearnStageLighting.com. That's LearnStageLighting.com, and right on the homepage you can grab your free guide to begin with lighting. Okay, now let's talk about choosing lights for your small venue. I talked in our first video a little bit about the environment. Okay, actually second video, thinking about the environment when it comes to lighting a small venue. I talked a little bit about choosing the right lights, choosing the right fixtures for a small venue, but I didn't go too deep into it. So I want to dive deeper in this video as to what to look for when you're buying something in a small venue and how to get there. So ultimately, when it comes down to it, there's a couple really important things that you're going to run into when you're looking at lights for a small venue. Okay, the first is, okay, does this light cover, is it wide enough for lighting the stage that I want? This is especially prevalent in small moving lights, okay? And the reason why this is a lot of small moving lights have really narrow beams and probably no zoom. And the reason why is simply because they can appear brighter on more stages or in more environments, okay? And if you're, doing a DJ set or something like that, and you just want to see that thing flashing around and you've got haze in the air, that can look good. But when you go and now you're using this light to light up a wall, to put gobos on somewhere, to light people's faces, you need something that's much wider. Okay, so that's the first thing to look out for is, okay, what beam angle, what does this offer me, and how can I best use that? What this often leads people to, especially when we're talking about moving lights, is going in and buying more wash lights and not buying spot fixtures as much. In fact, there's a couple big advantages to that. One is, even with, not the most budgety wash fixtures, but the next level up, just slightly not the most budgety, you're going to get a fixture that has the ability to color change and color mix, which means smooth color changes between colors, and zoom. Okay? In a spot fixture, you're going to spend at least double the money, if not more, probably more actually, to get color mixing and zoom. Sure, a lot of entry-level moving light spots can change colors on a color wheel. Where that wheel spins, there's different choices. But the problem with this is that, and I see this happen at small venues a lot, is you don't get smooth transitions. And so then you've got to think about, do I want to black this light out? Do I just need to wait for a moment in the music that's more upbeat when I can get away with changing that color? It's like, if you want to make it happen smoothly and make it look professional, you have to plan it a lot more. Whereas with a wash type fixture, you can just create another cue or preset or whatever your console calls it, change the color, have it fade, it's smooth. Zoom is another big part, as I mentioned, because a lot of the time, these moving head spot fixtures might have like a 10-15 degree beam angle, really narrow, okay? And when that's 5 feet away from someone, it's a dot that's like this big, right? It's like tiny. Whereas with a wash fixture, you can commonly get something that'll zoom to 60 degrees and then on the narrow end 20 or 15 or 30, somewhere in there. So you can still get a pretty narrow beam look, especially if you have atmosphere. But then if you're lighting someone, if you need to cover more area, if the light's like right here, 4 feet behind somebody's head, you can zoom it up really big and actually cover that person. So that's a big part of finding what's right for you, is going, okay, what features do I really need? And how in my show do I make smooth transition with the lights that I'm considering in my show or service? Because ultimately, wash fixtures are going to enable you to do that like a ton better than spot fixtures. And some, if you look, there are some that have kind of a beam slash wash type effect that was first popularized by the Claypack EBI, but now it's in other fixtures, similar looks. I've seen it from ADJ, Chauvet. Gamma has their TX, not TX, their Kaleido 7, they call it their Kaleidoscope series. And these lights are great because you get a zoomable unit that can zoom, but then if you pull that zoom back, or if you run a quick effect on it, you can get a bunch of little beams that kind of look like a gobo. Another good one actually in that range, and another thing to talk about, is Eliminator has in their Stealth series a cool beam fixture. I think they call it the Craze. I think it's still around, where it's kind of like a wash unit, but you can spin it, and when you spin the lens, it sends the beams everywhere, and it looks super cool. Okay? That brings up the next topic, fan noise. Okay? When it comes to it, smaller fixtures are more susceptible to greater fan noise. It happens a lot. And if you have one fixture, maybe you won't notice it when there's music playing. But when you start to get 2, 4, 8 fixtures, that can really add up, okay? The easiest place to get rid of fan noise is in your pars, right? This is the Gamma par that I talk about a lot, which the name keeps escaping me. So Starburst, that's what they are. This is the big one. The smaller one's above my head lighting me. And these guys are great because they have no fans, but they're still at a really great price. When you look at the entry level of pars, it's really hit or miss. Some will have fans, some will not. You want to look for the ones that don't have fans because they're going to be silent when they run. As I mentioned before, one light with one fan isn't going to be super loud, isn't going to be super annoying. A bunch of lights with fans really starts to add up and become problematic. So when it comes down to it, when you're looking for a fixture that really meets your needs in a small venue of portability perhaps, size, because it can't be huge, has the features you want, such as color mixing. Maybe you want gobos, but you're probably not going to get the two of those together. Maybe you just get a cool beam type effect from a wash combo type unit. Whatever your needs are in that small venue, when you consider them before you buy and then choose wisely, you're much more apt to get something that truly meets your needs and then enables you to create really great lighting. Now, the second part of this video is going to be next week, where we're going to talk about using non-standard lighting for a big impact. And all that means is, okay, we don't just have to use DMX lights that are marketed as stage lights to make things really interesting. There are other options, and they're out there, and they're really great. So with that, thank you guys for watching. If you're new here, grab my free guide to begin with lighting over at LearnStageLighting.com. Be sure to subscribe here, and then we'll see you in our next video. You don't want to miss this. It's probably the biggest thing that, if you're willing to put in a little bit of time putting it together, you can create some really cool stuff for your small venue really easily. Check that out. We'll see you guys there. Thanks.